What's going on, Code Squad? Today we're going to learn how to utilize the Stack Navigator so that therefore we can maneuver or navigate in between different screens. Let's get it. Hey, yeah. Alright, Code Squad, let's go ahead and hop into it. So we're in our app.js and let's clean this up a little bit so we're not using styles here. We can delete this. Also, we're not using instructions. We can remove that. Move props. And we're not using any of this. Alright, cool. Alright, so basically for this episode, what we want to do is when we press the sign in button, we want the sign in screen to pop up. And when we press the register screen, we want the register screen to pop up. So let's go ahead and start working with that. So in our sources folder, let's add a new folder and let's call that folder screens. I'm not sure if that's the best name to call it, but that's just what I called it. And we're going to add a file, new file. We're going to say register, login, stack screen .js, and I'm gonna just copy that so I don't have to write it all again. Enter, and now we're going to say import React component from React, and we're going to say import register login. So we're going to actually bring in our screens here, controller screens, whatever you want to call it, register login from containers, register login. And I actually don't think that, so let's jump here. And I think for our index here, okay, we do have our index set. If you don't, just make sure you put in this so that we can call our register login without having to double call it like so. Alright, so semicolon there, import register from containers register. Import login from containers. Can't spell containers. Containers login. And now let's go ahead and also import create stack navigator from React navigation. Alright, so it's popping up for me. That's just because I already have it installed. However, to install it, if you don't have it, come down here in your terminal and type in npm install -- save React navigation and run that command by pressing enter, and your React navigation will install. Hold on, I see that I made a mistake, so just make sure this, I put nom, make sure that's just npm install, and running that command you should get your React navigation. So after we get React navigation, we can now use create stack navigator. So let's go ahead and do just that. Let's say constant register log. I'll just go ahead, I know I copied that earlier, so I just paste it. Register login stack screen equals create stack navigator I'm going to say register login for our first screen. Going to bring up screen. I'm going to say register login. Navigation options. Going to say header null, because we already have our nav bar, our custom nav bar for our header. And that looks good for the register login. Now let's add our login screen. So we're going to say screen, bring that back a little bit, screen, login, navigation options, header, null. I'm going to say comma, comma, and we're going to do this one more time for our register screen. So register screen, register, did that wrong, blah, 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 register, that should be comma, navigation options, colon, brackets, header, null, and now we want to say close that off, and we're going to give it a mode of modal. And I'll show you exactly what that does. I don't think I'm not sure, hold on. All right, so export default. I always have trouble spelling default for some odd reason. We're going to default this one. And it's saying that React is defined but never used, so we don't need that. And we exported it here, so let's bring it up in app.js. Let's say import register login stack screen from source screens, register login stack screen, and let's show it. It should look exactly the same. It's loading right now. All right, so look, it looks exactly the same because our first screen is the register login screen. So now what we have to do is jump into our register login. And so when we press the sign in button, which is right here, text sign in touchable opacity, we want to load our login screen. So let's say unpress equals, and let's create a function called handle load login screen. And now what we're going to say is on that press, we're going to run this handle load login screen. And let's build this out. So we have constant navigate equals this props navigation. And we're going to navigate to our login screen. So this constant, this string right here, has to be the same key as this. It has to be the same as this key. So I don't like to work with strings that much, so let's go ahead and create a constant, and let's just call that login, and we can just call this constant right here. It serves the same purpose, it's just written a little bit different for preference. And it's saying missing in props validation, so what they essentially want us to do is import prop types from prop types, come down to the bottom and run register login dot prop types equals navigate prop types dot func for function and not funky, and navigation prop types dot object. Now I actually don't even think we need this navigate function one, so let's see. Yeah, all we need is the navigation one for right now. Alright, so we're back in there. So now let's see if that actually works the way we want it to. So command reload, just press command, hold command and press R, sign in, and it brings up the login screen. So you saw how it went from down to up. That's because in our register login we ran a mode called modal. Now if we leave it as the default, then it should go from left to right. So command R, run sign in, and it goes from left to right. We also get a warning saying is mounted is deprecated, and I'm not 100% sure why that is. So as always, let's go to our good friend named Google. So let's say is mounted is deprecated React navigation. This looks pretty recent, 24th. That's even more recent. Let's just go to this one. Scroll down, see a whole bunch of likes and hearts and positive stuff. So it says import KK41247 says import Yellowbox from React Native, Yellowbox.ignore warnings. So it looks like she just ignored the warning and not really solved it. So I'm not sure how to actually solve the warning. If you know, let us know down in the comment section, Code Squad. I kept on going down and reading, and TPXP says, guys, I think the maintainers have enough data about this bug, so I think that the maintainers are gonna work with it and try to fix it. So I don't know. I don't think it's too much of a big hassle. If it continuously pops up, we could try to fix it later. Like I said, I think that it'll be fixed in due time, but we'll see. So let's just keep it in modal, rerun that, and we press the sign in button and it goes from up to down. All right, cool. So we also notice when we press this button, we're supposed to go back down to the register login screen. So let's fix that. So that would be under our login. And we should say, let's call a function called handle go back. That arrow function, and let's say const go back equals this dot props dot navigation, and let's call that function go back, and it's stating that it wants it in props validation, so we have to do the same thing, import prop types from prop types. Scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to say login dot prop types equals how does it go? Equals, let's see. Okay, equals navigation prop types dot object. Command save that bad boy. And we want to run this handle go back function when we call. So if you hold command and click on nav bar, you see that we have two properties, a title property, and we use that title property and call it login, and we also have an unpressed left icon property. So let's say unpressed left icon, we want to run the handle go back function. This dot handle go back. So if we command R, sign in, press the left icon button, then it goes back. So essentially that's how it will work. So we also have to complete it by going to do the same thing for the register button. So register button right here, let's say unpress equals this dot handle load register screen. Of course, we have to build this function. We're going to say constant navigate equals this dot props dot navigation. We're going to say navigate, and we're going to say register. We're going to create this constant. Register equals register. We're going to make sure that this string register is the same thing as this key register. Looks the same, so we're good there. And we don't need this handle go back function here. And let's jump into our register, and let's create a handle go back also for here. So handle go back, big fat arrow function, constant go back equals this dot props dot navigation, and then call that function go back. Wants us to import prop types from prop types, and we have to define a property by saying register dot prop types equals navigation is a prop types object, yeah, like that. And now we still have to call this function when we unpress left icon, this dot handle go back. So that should be good. Let's hold command, press R to reload this. We're going to say sign in, login screen. We can go back, register, and I'll go back and we can go back. Yeah, we got that, baby. So that looks pretty good, Code Squad. Let me know what you think. Hey, yeah. All right, Code Squad. I love you all, and I hope that you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Holla at your boy. All right, and also remember, if you have any questions, post it in the comment section. The Code Squad family, the Code Squad community, we will help you out. Let's get it, baby. Love you. Take care.